came from a discussion with one of the other organizers, Trevor Metz, who's running a bar and grill and has a venue where he hosts annually something called Shuangjing Block Party. We decided it would be a good idea to combine elements of his block party, which is a big outdoor barbecue with music and live bands and this kind of thing, with amateur fighting.
A drunken conversation that turned into a real event after the Super Bowl, after my Seahawks lost.
We wanted to put on a fight show that we'd want to go to, you know? We wanted to put on something that made sense to us.
One of our things that we started out with was the philosophy that, look, we want equally matched people, because there's other events around Asia that they look at it as a money standpoint. Who can bring in the most money? Who can bring in the most friends? We said no.
Would people come or not was the question. We knew that everyone who came would enjoy it, and it's great to see all the planning just come to fruition today.
Barbecue, free-flowing draft beer, music, both live and recorded, and amateur fighting. The name Showdown, Shuangjing Showdown, a showcase event organized in the Pingward Art District in Beijing's Shuangjing neighbourhood, featuring boxing and Muay Thai. This was something boxing enthusiast James Oliver and local bar and grill owner Trevor Metz put together, purely out of their own love for combat sports.
There's going to be 12 fighters here. They're already here, 6 fights, and all the people who've paid about 200 renminbi to come watch this, the equivalent of $33 US. It's free-flowing beer for them all day long, and the fights will be right here. So let's get ready to rumble.
This of course wasn't a tournament. The only competition for the fighters here was pride. But the Shuangjing Showdown was also breaking some new ground. This was the first instance of various expatriate gyms in Beijing involved in one large-scale event.
You know, I wasn't sure when I first started out if there would be, I don't know, some kind of politics involved in getting so many different businesses in the same industry on the same page at the same event. And we arranged with them to put on a 7-week training promotion, which was all you can train, taking all of their Muay Thai and boxing classes in 7 weeks leading up to Showdown on April 18th. And they put that on at a cut rate. And the idea was to not only encourage fighters to take on as much training as possible and participate, but to get new people involved. And it worked.
For us, it's a big promotion, marketing for our gym, because these are our fighters, they are representing our gym. So, of course, if they will go for this event and then they win, we are proud for them.
And speaking of the fighters, of the 12 fighting at the Showdown, 10 were men and just 2 women. But apparently it's not a reflection of the gender ratio when it comes to involvement in the sport itself.
And we're hoping that more women will see this and be inclined to compete, because we do see that the gym memberships amongst female members is rising. We see more and more women joining up of all ages, and they love it, you know.
This is a sport that in China hasn't quite gained the kind of popularity it enjoys in the West. The lineup at the Showdown, for instance, had only 2 Chinese fighters.
And boxing here in China is not yet well known. So that's why most of the guys here, they are like a lot of the guys, Chinese guys who wants to participate, but still the level for doing this event is not yet they need to do more.
But the popularity of combat sports, even in China and across the gender divide, is believed to be on the rise. Local authorities are said to be encouraging more people to take up sports in general. So much so that even getting the necessary permits to hold the Shuangjing Showdown in a city infamous for its red tape wasn't as difficult as you think.
I think one of the key differences is, had we been doing this elsewhere, we'd have to involve more sanctioning bodies. There'd be sports governing bodies we'd have to get involved. And with this, we didn't have to.
I think that people see MMA boxing and combat sports in general as a new form of fitness. It's empowering, and you're seeing both men and women doing it. I think it's a great sport for both genders, and it's on the rise.
And if the popularity of just this event is anything to go by, the future of combat sport in China is looking bright. The 300 tickets allocated for the event didn't just sell out, it did so a week in advance. And a continuing demand for tickets forced James and Trevor to add another 100.
Are you surprised by the popularity? How quickly people caught on to this?
I'm not surprised by the popularity. I am surprised by how quickly they caught on.
The enthusiasm, though, wasn't just from the spectators. One of the two participating Chinese fighters had flown in from Shandong at his own expense just for this.
No, I wasn't expecting that. But great that he did, and he won his fight, which I thought was pretty cool.
As for more events like these, the plan is to do it bigger and better, possibly at different venues. The priority, however, seems to be the core interest in combat sports.
Really, we don't make as much as people think we make. They see the people and they see everybody having drinks and they see maybe even a big pile of money, but really that money is gone. I mean, this ring was very expensive. Getting all the people to do DJing, all the people to do the ring, like for instance, the ring girl and the band and having the medical assistance on hand. These things all cost money. So for the first one, we're not going to make that much, but we're hoping to build a brand.
Once the other gyms see what we're doing and see that it's fun and it's working, and I think that it's going to just be easier from here on out.
The Showdown will be the brand, and we're hoping to see more amateur boxing, more people coming out for days like this, because let's be honest, Beijing doesn't get a lot of days where people can go outside and hang out.
I knew the people that came would have a good time here today, because what we're providing is, I think, one of the best sporting experiences you can go and see, which is a fight.
That's it! Yeah.